Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. This is the Poco X3 Pro. So this is it. This is the Poco X3 Pro. Now a little while ago, MKBHD made a video about OnePlus wherein he explained that OnePlus started as a tech enthusiast brand and now it is a consumer brand. It's for the masses out there and it has gradually moved from a tech enthusiast to a consumer brand. Now we have seen other tech enthusiast brands as well. The prime example of this is Poco itself. Poco started out with the Poco F1, which was a completely tech enthusiast based phone. It offered a Snapdragon 845 processor for the starting price of rupees 21,000. We had never ever seen Snapdragon 845 at that price before, and that was the main selling point of this smartphone and eventually of the brand itself. So it started as a tech enthusiast brand and then they had some hurdles here and there. But now they are trying to imitate that by launching the Poco X3 Pro. So this phone is aimed for the tech enthusiast out there. For the people who want the best performance from their smartphone, that's who Poco X3 Pro is for. It starts for the price of rupees 19,000 and for that the specifications are very good. It has a Snapdragon 860 processor, 128GB of UFS 3.1 storage, up to 8GB of LPDDR4X RAM, a 5160 mAh battery and 33W fast charging. All this for under 20,000 is just insane. Like, I've not seen any other smartphone under 20,000 with such a good processor. The performance on this smartphone is top notch. You can throw whatever you want at it and it will handle it like a champ. So if you are a gamer out there and likes to play PUBG or COD mobile for long hours, then this phone is for you. You can play at the highest settings available and you will have an incredible experience. Now, I would not call myself a gamer. I play games casually here and there. But if you are a gaming enthusiast, then you're going to love the performance on this phone. Now, even for normal stuff like checking your email, replying to WhatsApp messages, browsing through Instagram, watching YouTube videos, playing music on Spotify or anything that you want to do on this smartphone, everything is very smooth and it does not lag at all. The performance on this smartphone is the main thing and it is just excellent. Now we all know that a big part of performance is software. This phone comes with MIUI 12 out of the box based on Android 11. And MIUI 12 is MIUI 12. It's a very heavy skin on top of Android. I really feel that if Poco had gone with a lighter skin, like maybe something like stock Android or close to stock Android, that would have been much better. Now MIUI 12.5 update is expected for this smartphone, but they have not given us a timeline. They are not committing to one single date. It's a gray area for now. So MIUI 12.5 will come to this smartphone, but when will it come? That is still unknown. And yes, MIUI 12.5 is supposed to be lighter as compared to MIUI 12 and it is supposed to optimize the system a lot more. So let's hope for the best. But yes, the bottom line is that despite of having such a heavy skin that is MIUI 12, the performance is top notch. That is very good. The next thing that I want to talk about are the cameras. So on the rear side, there is a quad camera setup, or should I say a dual camera setup, because it's a 48 megapixel primary sensor, an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, then a 2 megapixel macro camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Both the 2 megapixel cameras are kind of useless. A lot of people might be wondering, how are the cameras on Poco X3 Pro? Well, I'm happy to report that the cameras are pretty good. They did surprise me. I was not expecting the cameras to be good because of Snapdragon 860. Like, whenever a brand tries to make a smartphone which has a very good processor, they have to make trade-offs, and generally that is in the camera department. But I'm happy to report that Poco X3 Pro does not have that problem. For this price, the cameras are really good. You can shoot some amazing photos from the main camera as well as the ultra wide angle camera. The dynamic range is impressive, the photos are detailed, the colors are natural, and yes, you can shoot some good photos. I think this has something to do with the Snapdragon 860 and its ISP. Because of that, you are getting good images out of this phone. But there's one thing absent on this phone, that is 4K 60 FPS because of the camera sensor. The camera sensor itself does not support 4K 60, so no 4K 60 video recording. What about the front camera? Well, selfies from this phone are also pretty good. Natural skin tones, good amount of detail, and they look good. Now, if you ask me if the cameras are better than Redmi Note 10 Pro and Pro Max, I'm gonna say no. Note 10 Pro and Pro Max still have better cameras out there, but the difference is not a lot. It's a minor difference. And it's not like Poco X3 Pro is way behind or something like that. Nothing like that. Next up, we have the display. Poco X3 Pro comes with a 6.67 inches 120Hz IPS LCD display. It is not AMOLED, but that is completely understandable. The LCD panel on the Poco X3 Pro is actually pretty good. It is higher refresh rate at 120Hz and the Snapdragon 860 is able to handle 120Hz very easily. I did not notice a lot of frame drops, so Snapdragon 860 is more than capable of handling the 120Hz refresh rate. That is excellent. The touch sampling rate is 240Hz, which definitely helps. So when you're gaming or something like that, that 120Hz refresh rate definitely comes in handy. Now what about the actual LCD panel quality? Well, it is pretty good. The colors are good, viewing angles are decent, and the brightness levels are also decent. Obviously, it is not as bright as an AMOLED panel, so when you're in direct sunlight conditions, you are going to notice that it is an LCD panel and you will feel that the brightness is a little lower. So if it had an AMOLED panel, the brightness would be more and hence it would be easier to use in outdoor sunny conditions. But yes, I can make do with the LCD display because of all the other things in this smartphone. Now I know a lot of you guys might be wondering what about the battery life. Well, the battery life has been surprisingly good for me. You can easily make this phone last for 1.5 days, and if you're a light user then maybe even 2 days. The battery life has been very good for me. But obviously if you play PUBG for 4 to 5 hours continuously, then that is going to drain your battery. So everyone's usage is different, but for my usage, which is pretty normal, I was getting very good battery life, which is somewhere around 1.5 days of usage. As far as charging goes, it has a 33-watt fast charger inside the box itself, which will give you fast charging. It is extremely helpful in scenarios where you don't have a lot of time and you just want to top up your smartphone. Fast charging definitely helps over there. Now there is one thing that I want to mention, that is the in-hand feel. So this is a thick and heavy phone. Please keep that in mind. It is a thick and heavy phone. It's not like the phone is thin. As compared to Redmi Note 10 Pro and Pro Max, this phone is definitely heavier and thicker. You can instantly feel that once you hold the phone in your hand. Now Poco X3, which is the younger brother of this smartphone, has a 6000 mAh battery, so that is even thicker and heavier. As compared to that, it is better, but as compared to Redmi Note 10 Pro and Pro Max, it's thicker and heavier. Now what about the other things? This phone comes with a headphone jack, a fingerprint sensor on the side, an IR blaster, and has decent speakers as well. The speaker quality is decent, not too good, not too bad either. All in all, I would say Poco X3 Pro is a phone for people who want the best performance at the lowest price out there. If you only care about performance, then you should definitely go ahead and buy this phone. But on the other hand, if you don't care about performance that much, like if you're a person like me whose usage is pretty normal on their smartphone, then you should go for Redmi Note 10 Pro Max. That phone makes a lot more sense because it has a 120Hz AMOLED display, very good cameras, it's a thin and light phone, feels comfortable in the hand, and it's an overall experience together. This phone has one thing which is like the best, but other things are pretty normal. But Redmi Note 10 Pro Max is a complete phone, and most people will go for that. Poco X3 Pro is for people who want the best performance. I'm going to leave it there. If you want to buy this phone, the link will be available in the description box below. Anyway, this was my full review of the Poco X3 Pro. Do let me know how you feel about this video in the comment section down below. If you like this content, go and hit that like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.